Welcome to the Government News Brief for Wednesday, January 13, 2016. In the news, technical team assessing drought situation in Region 2, other agriculture regions also being monitored, all Guyanese urged to support Jubilee celebrations, and Minister Keith Scott has begun meeting trade unions and other stakeholders in order to better the labor sector. With these and other stories, I am Azim Khan. A technical team from the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority (NDIA) is currently in Region 2 assisting the regional officials in addressing the current drought conditions. Senior engineer of the NDIA, Dave Hicks, told Gina today that currently there is not enough water and farmers have been advised not to commence cultivation at this time. However, for those who have already started the process, efforts are being made to ensure there is enough water available. Hicks further stated that both the NDIA and the regional administration are working through the Rice Producers Association and the Guyana Rice Development Board, advising farmers on the way forward and what procedures should be undertaken at this point. Rangers are currently monitoring and regulating the drainage structures to ensure equal and adequate flow of water to the already cultivated lands. The Dawa pump is currently in operation to aid in this process. NDIA is providing fuel for the operation as well as for the functioning of the 5 excavators being loaned to the RDC. These are at Queenstown, Mariah's Lodge, Charity, Better Hope and La Resource undertaking drainage works. Hicks has assured that the situation in all the affected regions is currently being monitored and will be provided with the necessary assistance. In only his second week of being appointed minister in the Ministry of Social Protection, Minister Keith Scott has begun to deliver on his promise to meet every trade union and other stakeholders operating in the labor sector. Here is that report.
Minister in the Ministry of Social Protection Keith Scott met with the executive members of the Guyana Trade Union Congress, the Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Union, and the Guyana Labor Union. According to Minister Scott, the meeting was successful as it allowed for the ministry and the unions to establish a framework for cooperation and understanding.
That we embarked upon a program to meet every single trade union as well as the 2 trade union bodies, which will be TUC and FITOG. Yesterday we began by issuing invitations to TUC and FITOG as the 2 umbrella bodies first, and then we also engaged and sent out invitations to every other union. The first set that we met yesterday was GAO. We invited NASI, we invited GLU, and those set at sort of had a beginning process of meeting with all the unions in this country that are recognized, as well as we intend to further that process by meeting with the employers' body, KGPS, the Private Sector Commission, and even large employers who might be outside of that those umbrellas. We will be meeting with them as well as major stakeholders in the labor market.
Minister Scott urged the unions, employers, investors, and interest groups to embrace government's policy as the transformation of the country is being pursued. The unions were also urged to embrace the principle of dialogue, compromise, and mutual respect.
We intend to have not the process of a level playing field where all persons can access the Ministry of Labour to have their not only complaints resolved, but to access help that they may have in meeting their the labor obligations that arises. Our staff is trained for that.
The minister stressed that he will be pursuing an open door policy through which he will be meeting with all stakeholders in the labor sector. More unions are expected to meet the minister in the coming week. With this government news brief, I am Sinika Thorne.
Guyana's Golden Jubilee is expected to be massive, especially with the buzz that the organizations and the government officials have managed to stir up, both at home and abroad. But for Guyana to truly shine during these celebrations, it would take the effort of all stakeholders. Glendon Greenwich reports.
Addressing the media at a press briefing recently, Minister within the Ministry of Education, Nicolette Henry, used the occasion to call for national support to guarantee the success of the 50th anniversary celebrations.
If it's one thing that I would want to ask for support, if it's one thing that I need, every Guyanese to come on board and to celebrate and to be part of and to recognize that this is bigger than any one person, any organization. I may be sitting here tasked as a chair because of my ministerial appointment, but this is certainly bigger than Nicolette Henry. It is bigger than any one of us here today. And I really need the support of the media. I need the support from all sectors because this is an event that we want Guyana to shine. We want to be able to recognize what the journey would have been like and to make the necessary adjustments where we have to make the adjustments to ensure that we go in the right direction so that the next 50 years we will be in a much better place.
Guyana's Golden Jubilee celebrations would be a time of reflection, celebration, and inspiration.
This is a big anniversary, it's 50 years. It's a time of reflection. We have to look at the journey, the progress we've made over the 50 years. We also have to look at the missed opportunities we've had for the last 50 years. It's also a time to celebrate partnerships, celebrate accomplishment. There are many things to be celebrated, our people, our country, our history. And it's also a time to inspire our people, particularly our young people, so that they can dream bigger and reach higher.
Celebration for the country's Golden Jubilee will last the entire year. Some of the activities planned include Jubilee Day itself, a float parade, and a storytelling entitled 50 Days Around Guyana.
The coalition government has heightened focus on preserving Guyana's heritage. This is among the many initiatives being introduced to develop Guyana's growing tourism sector, even as the country prepares to welcome thousands to its shores for the grand 50th anniversary celebrations. Here is that story.
Tourism Minister Kathy Hughes says that heritage tourism is an important aspect of tourism development in Guyana and one which the ministry will be aggressively promoting. Heritage tourism can be termed as activities and services which provide international and domestic visitors with the opportunity to experience, understand, and enjoy the special values of a region or country's heritage.
We are looking at our forts, our historical buildings, and I'm really happy to say that the city is being cleaned up. We're talking about restoring some of our historical buildings. And the impact that can have is not just for Guyanese, because we need to live in a clean space. And you know that the president has been very vocal on that. And I'm happy to say that I meet Guyanese that are excited about how the capital city looks. And we're taking it out to other cities within our country.
This year, the ministry plans to have part of the capital city of Georgetown registered as a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
There's a part of our city that goes from High Street right up Avenue of the Republic, which could be certified with some improvements to the area as a walkway of World Heritage importance. And that, for example, could start by our Parliament, passing St. Andrew's Church, which is actually my church and which is the oldest church in Guyana. It comes along past our historic law courts. It passes the City Hall building, which is of historic significance. It passes the monuments, the non-aligned monuments that quite often we forget to see, and many years ago was covered with bush. It passes St. George's Cathedral, our museum, all the way up.
Guyana's many national buildings have their origin in the periods of Dutch, English, and French occupation of the country. Georgetown has many beautiful wooden buildings built in old colonial styles. With this government news brief, I'm Shanta Goberdan reporting.
The Ministry of Business is placing attention on product promotion and advertising. In this light, small-scale business owners have benefited from training towards producing better products. Here's that story.
The training session, which was held at the Arthur Chung Convention Center, focused on several areas, including advertising, packaging, labeling, marketing, and promotion, among others. It was aimed at helping entrepreneurs to determine the most effective and efficient means of advertising and promoting locally produced products.
We want to help you to help yourself. It is our expectation and hope that as entrepreneurs, small business owners, as you may know, that this workshop will provide you with invaluable information that will enable you to make the right decision. Bearing in mind your limited resources and the high costs associated with marketing and promotion of products. Whatever modality you may choose, at the end of the day, it is our expectation, and I assume will be yours too, that consumers become aware of your product, your brand, and help your product to be marketed in a much easier manner.
This workshop was organized as a result of a national product survey, which was carried out by the Ministry of Business and the new GPC for locally produced products. It focused on agro-processed products. The aim of the survey was to identify the factors contributing to the demand or lack of demand for the products. The survey showed lack of awareness, challenges facing small businesses in terms of financial and technical capabilities, along with the lack of investment for the promotion and marketing of products. It is expected that the beneficiaries would be able to attract more consumers and their products will be more recognized and established following the training. For this government news brief, Shivani Rampersad reporting.
That has brought us to the end of the government news brief for Wednesday, January 13, 2016. Look out for us on Facebook and YouTube. We leave you with our photograph of the day. Send us yours.